Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Strege, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did.
Okay, Dave, that's it. Screw you and your college flunkies. I've had enough of this from you and from everyone else. I know what you guys are trying to do. Break me down, drive me out of the force. Well, it's going to take a hell of a lot more than a lame prank like this to get Curtis Mooney to throw in his badge, so fuck you. Over.
Did you miss me? I guess not.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of What's in My Room. And it's been quite a while since I've showed you some stuff that I've gotten over time. So I'm going to move some things over here to start this whole process. God, I love being back. So the first film that I have here on order to show you is I finally got a copy of Death Toilet number 2 for real by Anhedemia Films. Glad I was able to get a copy of the film, and I also ended up getting a copy of Death Toilet 3 at the same time, which is called Duty Calls. I do have to watch this film yet. Anhedemia is is a company put together by Evan Jacobs, and I just love a lot of his films in general, and just hope that I can continue to get copies of his films with these cool covers. This one came today. I was hoping to have it like a week ago. But because of COVID and all that jazz, things take longer. It's like the male people are diseased or some shit. But it stars Rinko Kikuchi, and it's called Kumiko the Treasure Hunter. It's a Zellner Brothers adventure. I guess it is considered one of the century's most breathtaking independent films. I have already watched this film, and it's based on a rumor of Japanese woman who goes all the way to Fargo to look for a treasure that she found on an old VHS tape of Fargo. And it's very slow, but to those who enjoy slow films, it's a nice little treat, and it's an interesting tale. So that came today. So here I have a couple of gangster films. And I think they're, let's see, written and directed by Marcus D. Spencer. Okay, yeah. Marcus D. Spencer was the director behind both of these. The first one is called Straight Out of Oakland, and the second one is called Straight Out of Oakland 2. The first says there is only one way out, and so on and so forth. These were Dollar Tree pickups, so I'm definitely going to be checking these out when I get a chance. Next, I have a movie called Stalled, which is directed by Christian James. A worthy successor to Shaun of the Dead, it says. When there's no restroom in hell, the dead will walk on earth. Or walk the earth. So I'm looking forward to checking that particular film out. Next I have Safe House The Crow. And this says on the front, they thought they were finally safe. And this one is directed by Mark Evans. I guess it's a BBC main feature, but I also picked this up for a buck at the time. At Dollar Tree, one of my Dollar Tree pickups. I ended up picking up the original Pulse Japanese film, the original J-horror thriller that inspired the remake of Pulse, which is, let's see, looking for the director here, edited by, written and directed by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. So that was kind of cool, picking that up brand new. Sure, it was probably sitting somewhere in a back room somewhere. The next film I picked up for a buck was The Executioners, and this is directed by Jesse Thomas Cook. Says on the front, death is their business. The Executioners. Next I have The Griddle House, and this apparently stars Luke Perry, Charisma Carpenter, Alex Schaefer, Claire Kramer, Amber Benson, and it says on the front, sometimes you don't find your family finds you. And this is directed by Paul Tombarello. Okay, this particular film, I think, is a. This says it's vintage Seaver DVD, Volume 1, packed with extras from the past 14 years. It's Chris Seaver's From Almost Night Till Almost Day. And I got this from a director, a friend of mine that I buy from time to time. I have not checked this out. I'm not sure if I've recorded that I have it before, but it was in my pile of pickups. So this was another Dollar Tree pickup. It's called The Games Maker. It says Make Your Move, and it's directed by Juan Pablo Buscarini. Looks kind of fun-ish, kind of. Maybe it might be it'd be for kids. Next, I have Mark Polonio's Chainsaw Killer from Sub Rosa Cinema. Definitely looking forward to checking that out. This one right here was a pickup from Half Price Books. I think I picked it up for $10, and it's called Home from Home, Chronicle of a Vision, die andere Heimat, Chronik einer Sehnsucht, and it's a film by Edgar Wright. He's, I guess, a director of the Heimat series, and the film stars Jan Dieter Schneider, Antonia Bill, Maximilian Scheidt, and Marita Brewer. So, Home Away from Home might be a German film. Not quite sure. Next I have James Franco in The Institute. And this is directed by Pamela Romanowski and James Franco himself. So I'm looking forward to checking that film out. Next I have this Midnight Horror Collection here. It says it's volume 4. And on here it has The Last Vampire on Earth, Night Shadow, Kraken Tentacles of the Deep, Bloodlock, Blood Red Moon, Howling for the Original Nightmare, Raging Sharks, and Vampageddon. Next I have an anime, a Japanese anime that we had covered, but I hadn't fully seen it myself. Didn't get a chance to fully watch it before we discussed it, I think, on Septon Sim versus the World's channel. This is called Sword of the Stranger. And we had done a martial arts month on our channel, I think. And this was just so happened to have been one of the films that I think Animation Collections, which is a group that's out there, ended up choosing for us. Because the last couple of months we've been allowing different groups to vote on some of the films that we discussed to make it a little bit more interesting. So this is, I'm not sure who it's directed by, but let's see. With breathtaking animation that keeps you on the edge of your seat, this classic tale from Studio Bones is a hidden gem of its time. Set in feudal Japan, a boy named Kotaro and his faithful dog Tobimani are caught in the turmoil of a grim prophecy. At the request of the Ming Dynasty's aging emperor, the boy is pursued by a band of formidable Chinese assassins. After escaping the destruction of the temple and that took him in, he runs into No Name, a mysterious stranger who gets pulled into the chase. So, I mean, that's not all that it says on the back here, but it sounds pretty interesting. So, gonna recheck that out eventually. So, here in Wisconsin, there was a short film phenomenon that ended up getting made into a feature length thing, and I ended up getting a copy of the Blu-ray of the film, which also has that short film that I saw, and that I was actually at its first original screening here in Milwaukee at the Milwaukee Twisted Dreams Festival, and it is called Gags the Clown. And the original short film is called Gags Terror Surrounds You. So, definitely, finally, glad to get and pick up that. And this film came with another film, and I'm not even sure that I even entirely picked it up. for real. But Horseman, which is directed by Jonas Ackerlund and Dennis Quaid and Zai Zhang are acting in the film, and it says on the front, 4 victims, 4 painful secrets. It's been some time since I've seen that film, so I'm glad that I finally have a copy. Next, I have this 8 by the Excitement 8 movie all action collection. It says over 12 hours of adrenaline-driven thrills, featuring Charles Bronson, Donald Sutherland, Michael Caine, and more. So these are the films that are on this particular collection. Capricorn 1, The Cassandra Crossing, Borderline, Love and Bullets, The Domino Principle, The All Quiet on the Western Front, Raise the Titanic, and The Eagle Has Landed. So I think I picked this up for like $1.99 at Mega Media Exchange, which is a nice a little place to get a bunch of stuff. So I ended up getting this from a film reviewer friend of mine that tends to get rid of stuff. This was a film that was originally on Shudder, and it's called The Barge People. And it's directed by Charlie Steeds, Dark Temple Motion Pictures, and I guess Raven Banner was part of putting this film out there. The Barge People says on the front, no one escapes. Satisfyingly gory. Says Starburst magazine. Okay. Here is another Shudder release that I got from my friend. Evidently, it's produced by Joe R. Lansdale, who is the writer of Bubba Hotep and Cold in July. This is called The Pale Door, and it was put out on Shudder as well. But it is directed by Aaron B. Kuntz. So I am curious about I started to watch this at one point in time. I'm curious to check the rest of it out. Next, I have this is another no, this isn't a Dollar Tree pickup from me, but I know it was probably a Dollar Tree pickup for my from my director friend. But this is Power Kids. It's Magnolia releasing, and it's directed by Kridzanapong Radshata. And it says, Die Hard with Kick-Ass Kids. Next, I ended up this is a film that I ended up producing behind. It's a film directed by Joseph Galai. And originally he had told me that he was going to send me a copy. He didn't. And that's why I ended up picking up a copy of it myself. And I'll have to rewatch it. It's Joseph Galai is from Romania. So definitely going to be checking that out again eventually. Next, I was very excited about getting this. This is a Turkish double feature of cinema classics from Mondo Macabro. First, I have the Deathless Devil and Tarkan versus the Vikings. The Deathless Devil is from 1972, and Tarkan the Vikings is from 1971. The Deathless Devil is directed by Yilmaz Atadenis, starring Kunt Toger, Mine Mutlu, Errol Taz, and Musavas Tima. And Tarkan versus the Vikings was directed by Mehmet Azyan, starring Cartel Tibet, Ava Bender, Seher Senix, Fatma Belgium. So, looking forward to checking those out. Next, this was a pickup from Half Price Books. It's Anthony Mann's The Furies, and this is a really nice Criterion set because it comes with the original novel of the film, and it's kind of a western. From 1950. So that was definitely an interesting watch. Next I have a film called Outlawed. Says on the front, when the enemy is above the law, you need an outlaw. And it stars Adam Collins, Jessica Norris, Ian Hitchens, Stephen Blades, Zara Fithian, and it's directed by Luke Radford and Adam Collins. So definitely going to be checking that out eventually. Next, I ended up picking up 1031 Part 2. This was from Gary House Entertainment, and it was a Screen Time release. I have the first one, haven't seen it. Have the second one now, so I'm gonna probably watch them this Halloween to check them out eventually. Next, I have a film that I put some money into. I wasn't exactly a producer, but I ended up getting a T-shirt and a copy of the film and my name in the background as a special thanks section. It's called Psycho Ape, and it's stars Bill Whedon, Kansas Bowling, and Steve Albers. And Addison Binnick is the director of this film, and it's rather fun. I watched it and reviewed it at one point, so definitely check that out. Here I have Hayden Christensen and Nicolas Cage in a film called Outcast. This is put out by E1 Entertainment, and it is directed by Nicholas Powell. Looks like it could be interesting. Anything with Nicolas Cage is kind of interesting. Here is another Dollar Tree pickup, I think. This has got Heather Graham in My Dead Boyfriend. And it's directed by Anthony Edwards. And I guess it says on the front here, best relationship ever. So I'm definitely going to check that out. Okay, so these three, I'm pretty darn sure that these three from Switchblade Pictures are soft-core pornish, but with storylines. So the first one and these are all uncut limited editions. The first one is called Ninja She-Devil. The next one is called Ninjaken, the Naked Sword. And the last one is called I Was a Teenage Ninja. And let's see. The director of Ninja She-Devil is Yoshikatsu Kato. And the Naked Sword is the same person. And it looks like it's the same director for I Was a Teenage Ninja. So there we have those three. Those should be entertaining, eh? Next, I did eventually pick up a copy of Birds of Prey, which it's and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. And that was an interesting film. Next, I have Amityville Island, directed by Mark Polonia. The Horror Follows You. For God's sake, get out of the water. Next, I have Boiler Room, which this was an extra film that was given to me by Brandon the last time, so thanks, Septum. I had not had this film. I wasn't sure what it was all about. It's an earlier film with Vin Diesel and Giovanni Ribisi, so I remember it coming out in the theaters at the time, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if I was entirely that interested in it. The next film that I have here is The 1517 to Paris. And this says, a true story, The Real Heroes. And this is directed by Clint Eastwood. I haven't quite watched this Clint Eastwood film yet, but I'm looking forward to checking it out. And Boiler Room was directed by Ben Younger, by the way. So, next, I have a film with Sean Bean. This is Blu-ray of Clean Skin. I guess Hattie Hajag is the director of this film. It was put out by E1 Entertainment. Might have been a Dollar Tree pickup for my friend. This, I do know, was a Dollar Tree pickup for me. This is Ant Boy Revenge of the Red Fury. And I guess this is based on the hit books by Kenneth Begg Anderson. I guess this is the sequel to Ant Boy, which I should eventually try to find myself. And this is directed by... It's kind of hard to see who the director is, but I guess that's the sequel to a superhero-like-ish film based on a book series. Next, I have a film called A Deadly Game, which this one is directed by Marita Grabiak. It stars Amy Pietz, Devin Werkheiser, Tracy Fairway, and Johnny Whitworth. A Deadly Game. Looking forward to checking that out. So this is, well, I got to wipe the cover off of this, but I ended up buying this from my good friend Jake, who is the co-host on Set and Sim versus the World with Brandon. And he ended up having another copy of Adaptation, which I did not have. So, which starred Nicolas Cage, Meryl Streep, and Chris Cooper. And that was directed by Spike Jonze at the time. Next, this was a Dollar Tree pickup. It's got Sean Bean in Wicked Blood, Lou Diamond Phillips and Estella Warren in Takedown, Storming Juno, which is based on true stories of D-Day, The Sweeney, a movie called Trapped, a movie called The Big I Am, a movie called The Genesis Code, a movie with Dolph Lundgren called Blood of Redemption. This says it's called an 8-film collection action binge. So there are... And to show you the back of it. Okay, next I have 2035, a new breed of apocalypse horror. It says it's the Terminator meets Mad Max. And this is directed by Chris J. Miller. Born during a solar eclipse, Jack Slade is gifted with the ability to time travel, but when he travels to the year 2035, he finds himself in a post-apocalyptic wasteland run by evil doctors who have infected the population with the help of a small band of wasteland warriors. Jack must destroy the machine that allows evil to thrive and save the fate of humanity. So there we have 2035. Okie dokie. Next I have 96ers Time Runners. And this one is written and directed by Thomas Gomez Durham. Their war has come to our time, and a time-bending hunt to save the future. So, interesting enough. Let's see. This one I'm pretty sure that I've already gone on about. Or maybe I have not, but this is from Morbid Vision Films. This is the only horror... This is the only non-horror film directed by Brian Pollan, and it's signed, and it says, Soon to be Dead. Next, I have a film called Bonebreaker. I think I paid $2.99 for this. It's directed by Nicholas Winter. And on the front, it says, Don't go down to the woods. A full-on terror from the start to finish. Love the cover here. Alrighty. Next, I have Minutes to Midnight. Minutes to Midnight. And this one is directed by Christopher Douglas Olin Ray. And it says, Pray these strangers don't come calling. Uncorked Entertainment put this out, so with E1 Entertainment as well. Next, I have the producer's cut of Meat Hook Massacre 4, which I put some money into. There was a little bit of a struggle with the producer behind this, which is Dustin Ferguson. But it was written and directed by John Ward. There are about 6 or 7 of them, and I just thought that it was interesting. So the next film here, I just wanted to show here, and actually I have 2 other films here that are newer as well from this director. I've been collecting the director of these particular films, Amir Scalanja's. Here is Holland Road Massacre: The Legend of Pigman. Then I also have Anthropocene and Casting Couch Slaughter. I have those 3 by Amir Scalanja, which he's in charge of Foxtrot Productions, but Casting Couch he co-directed with his producer, and I think she's done a lot of his makeup, and she started to act a little bit more. So this is almost like her, Crystal Shanks, stepping into the limelight beside him as like his partner in crime in Foxtrot. So it's been interesting seeing his evolution of filmography come out, and seeing that he's living the dream. Next, I have a Danny Trejo triple feature. This is obviously probably a Dollar Tree pickup, and I guess the first one here is 513 Degrees. The next one is Valley of Angels, and the last one is Babysitters Beware. So I have not heard of these before, but I'm definitely willing to check them out. The next one, this is a Big Lots pickup. This one's called Jack Hunter and the Lost Treasure of Ugarit. I'm looking forward to checking that out. It looks like it's a little bit Indiana Jones-ish. And I'm looking forward to checking it out. Next, I have a Blu-ray combo DVD of James Franco directed film with a screenplay by Matthew Rager. It's got James Franco, Kate Wolf, Vincent D'Onofrio, Selena Gomez, Ed Harris, Josh Hutcherson, Sam Shepard, Zach Braff, Robert Duvall, and Bryan Cranston. And it's based on a book by John Steinbeck. It's called In Dubious Battle. Definitely looking forward to checking that out eventually. And let's see if I can't get these. So next, I know this one is an older Danny Trejo film, but I've been looking for the right price, the right time to pick this film up. It's Robert Rodriguez's film Machete Kills. Uh, Anywhere I would see it, it would be like um, horribly priced, and it would just not be anywhere out in the wilds after it came out, you know. So it just went bonkers. So I'm glad I was able to pick up a copy for $5, and that was at that was at Big Lots, brand new. I am glad to know this director Brad Twigg put out a director's cut of his MILF versus Zombies, and they mutilated the title by adding the number 4 in front of it. But I guess he played around with it and cut some more and edited some more in and took some out, and I still have to rewatch this, but I'm looking forward to, because the first film that I came across him was MILFs versus Zombies, and I'm glad that I found his films early on because he's a damn good director. Next, I have Jurassic Prey, which I guess this is a Wild Eye entertainment. Directed by Mark Polonia, and we got John Oak Dalton, who has written the story for it. Which some of John Oak Dalton's stuff is starting to come out. I realized that I didn't have this John Hughes film, which is a classic, which is called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So I ended up picking this up for $7 at Half Price Books. Steve Martin and John Candy star in it, and I'm not really a fan of Steve Martin, to be honest, but this is one of his better ones. I think he's somewhat of an asshole, to be honest. But in any case, so I ended up getting a couple of animated movies from a TV series called Ranma and a Half. I guess it's directed by Kumiko Takahashi. And the first one here is called Big Trouble in Nekonran, China. And the second movie is called Ni Hao, My Concubine. And those were put out by Pioneer along with Viz Video. And I guess these are the special edition versions of these. So I'm interested in checking out these eventually down the road. But thank you for listening. Hopefully you've enjoyed these pickups. I have plenty more to go through. These were quite a few of them that were just lying around, and thank you for checking out my channel. I'll have some more pickups eventually to show you, and hopefully you get a chance to collect these as well. I just enjoy showing you what's in my collection, and that's pretty much basically what's in my room. I have several different piles over here to go through, and just thought I'd show you some new, some old. So thank you for listening. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. Appreciate all the time you spend listening to what I have to say. So, happy trails to you until we meet again.
You were good, kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?